Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. Today we are talking the greatest skincare product of all time. This little gem honestly made my skincare year in 2025. It's only actually after being consistent with it for a full 12 months, I've truly come to appreciate its value in terms of delivering results. And I refuse to gatekeep anything here on the channel, so I'm sharing it loud and proud because hopefully it'll help you guys along when it comes to your own skincare journey. As always, this video isn't sponsored and it isn't in paid partnership. You will never see a sponsored ad here on Mad About Skin because I pride myself on my independence. I'll only recommend products that have truly worked for me, tried and tested on my own skin and have proven their worth. So if you want to support me as a truly independent skincare content creator, the very best way of doing so is by reaching down and giving the video a big thumbs up and a like. This honestly means the world to me because the more likes a video gets, the more widely YouTube will distribute it on its platform. So from the bottom of my heart, love to each and every one of you. Now, without further ado, let's cut that waffle and delve straight on in. So the product we're talking about today is this little gem, the Ordinary Aloe 2% plus NAG 2% serum. This has been a revelation for my skin in the past 12 months. It actually launched 3 years ago, and full disclosure, I'll be honest with you guys, I was quite dismissive of it early on its launch. I just didn't find anything super exciting about the ingredients list, about the formulation, and I said so here on the channel. And I think this was a very steep learning curve for me because honestly, there's not everything we can tell from an ingredients list. We actually need to try the products. We need to use it on our skin to see its true worth and value. A product is far more than just the individual ingredients. It's how they're formulated together and how they interact with the skin that really pays dividends. And that was something I learned quite quickly. My skin would love me far more had I started using this consistently 3 years ago when it launched rather than just 12 months ago. So we're kind of playing a little catch up. I'm here to say in the past 12 months, this has been a revelation. I'm going to share with you all the reasons why in today's video. I'm first going to start out with what the product is, a breakdown of the ingredients and the results that I've seen. I'm then going to come on to how to use it in order to get the best results. Buying a product is only one part of the equation. We need to know how to use it correctly in order to maximize the outcomes. And I've kind of experimented with it through trial and error. And I'm ready to share with you what I think will deliver you the very, very best results. I'm then going to share some alternatives because this is a product from The Ordinary that's super inexpensive and definitely packs a punch when it comes to results. But not everyone's going to want to shop with The Ordinary, and that's absolutely fine. There are other alternatives which include similar ingredients to this one on the market, and I'll come on to some of my favourite alternatives later in the video. If you want to jump to one section of the video over another, timestamps are down in the description box below, so be my guest, as are links to any product mentioned in today's video. So if you want to check the price point, read the reviews, or make a purchase, again, all there for your convenience in the description box below. So, what exactly is this? Well, if you read the title, you can tell it's an aloe-based serum that also has something called NAG within it. And I think this is why initially I was quite dismissive of it. Aloe, nothing new in skincare, been around for decades. Nothing wrong with aloe, but it's also not groundbreaking as an ingredient. And NAG at the time that this product launched was in its infancy in terms of people's understanding of it and what it could do. I thought it was just another ingredient that people were throwing out, claiming it to be a game changer without having a lot of data to back it up. In the 3 years that have come since the launch of this, we now have a whole suite of data to show how effective NAG is, particularly around boosting the plumpness and firmness of the skin and fading hyperpigmentation. Two of my key skin goals, all in one ingredient that's in a good concentration here. So I think I was wrong to be dismissive of it early on. I just wasn't excited by the formula, but now I'm here to say this definitely, whilst it's a super inexpensive serum, don't dismiss it because it doesn't come with a bougie price tag. It's genuinely a game changer, and for me at least, this is my all-time favourite skincare product that's still available for sale today. So in here, you've got that aloe in a 2% concentration, but this isn't just like aloe vera in its standard form. You can go to any, food store or health food outlet and buy aloe vera for the skin. That's nothing new. What they actually have done here is isolated the individual beneficial components of aloe and use those specifically in this serum. So that 2% is actually what I see as like a concentrated beneficial aloe variant rather than just being standard aloe vera. And that's where I think the results are elevated. I've used aloe vera on my skin in the past and it's great for hydrating, calming and soothing, but not a whole lot more beyond that. I got far greater results from this and the aloe in here than I was expecting because it's concentrated. And I think the Ordinary could have done more of an effort of really selling that aspect of it. To me, at least on first glance, it just looked like another aloe vera serum, which, you know, there's 10 a penny at health food stores. But it's not. It's concentrated, and it's that formulation that's really key. The 2% strength is really going to help to minimize inflammation and irritation in the skin, all key to maintaining skin health and preventing hyperpigmentation. Because don't forget, inflammation is the #1 trigger for excess pigment production. If we can reduce that down by using things like concentrated aloe, your skin is going to be far, far happier. But it's that NAG that's really, really delivering. So this is an abbreviation of a super long scientific name and is a relative newcomer to the skincare space. NAG has been in our skincare for about the past 5 years, and it was really popularized by The Ordinary. This is actually an ingredient which studies have recently shown can have so many different benefits when it comes to promoting overall skin health and preventing aging. First and foremost, it actually boosts the body's natural hyaluronic acid rate of production. Now, this is important because whilst hyaluronic acid is available in loads of different skincare products, a lot of people find it problematic applying it topically. They can get sensitivity reactions. They can find that their skin just doesn't tolerate topically applied hyaluronic acid. That's actually my experience. I like the results I got, but my skin always ended up itchy and irritated. So actually, rather than just foregoing hyaluronic acid completely, take a different route. If you use NAG, it actually triggers the body to increase more of its hyaluronic acid naturally. You're not going to get any sensitivity or irritation from that because it's your body naturally doing what it's supposed to do, just in greater quantities. And there is no hyaluronic acid applied topically in this instance. It just works from within to boost hyaluronic acid levels. I think ultimately this is far better because you slap on a hyaluronic acid serum, it's going to work for 12 hours to plump and hydrate. All great, but it's not going to have that long-term benefit that we crave. By naturally dialing up the body's rate of hyaluronic acid production, that's where you're going to see those long-term wins in terms of minimizing the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles and plumping everything out. If you're a fan of a hyaluronic acid serum, I'd say take a pause on it. Use this instead, and that'll just encourage your body to naturally produce what you love anyway and see the results in a more long-term and sustained way. NAG is also fantastic at fading hyperpigmentation. This again wasn't something that was proven at the time of this product's launch. It's since then when we've seen a lot of data points and peer-reviewed studies that show NAG, if used in the right concentrations and in the right way, can actually reduce the amount of hyperpigmentation present in the skin in 2 key ways. It reduces the excess pigment produced in the first place by blocking some of the mechanisms of its production, but it also helps to eradicate the pigment that's already existing. It does so in a really gentle way. Some people might refer to it as like exfoliation, but it's not the same as using exfoliating acid. It's super gentle, but it has a 2-pronged attack to that hyperpigmentation, which is why it's so effective. These studies show that if you use a NAG in a 2 or 3% strength alongside a niacinamide in a 3 to 6% concentration, and those concentrations are key, I'm going to come on to that later in the video. If you use that combination, you actually see a 23% reduction in hyperpigmentation over a 6-month period. That is game changing. So you can lose a quarter of your hyperpigmentation in just 6 months by using inexpensive skincare consistently. And that's what really sold me and got me excited, which is why I decided 12 months ago to start using this consistently to see the results. And I've seen some stunning results. That NAG is also anti-inflammatory, so it will reduce the inflammation levels in the skin, and it works on smoothing out the texture of the skin too. Like I say, with that gentle approach to exfoliation. Safe enough that you can use it twice a day, every day, but be consistent and you'll have the smoothest, most even skin of your dreams with increased hyaluronic acid levels and a reduction in fine lines and wrinkles. Now, what is not to love getting all those results from a £10 serum, and that is what makes it super special. So like I say, I've been consistent with this for the past 12 months and it's been a game changer for me. Over that 12-month period, I have cycled through other ingredients, other products, tried new things. I'm always looking into new things in skincare, but this is one of the products that I've genuinely been consistent with, and I think that's really paid off. I have far less hyperpigmentation today than I did 12 months ago, and you can check that out for yourselves. You know, I film every single day here on the channel, so pick a video from 12 months ago and you can do like a side-by-side comparison. I can see a visible difference when I look in the mirror, and that's what's really important to me. I've also noticed that this helps in terms of the inflammatory nature of my adult acne. I still break out even though I'm 40, and some of those breakouts can be quite painful. This actually really helps reduce that down. I think it's because of the anti-inflammatory nature of both the aloe and the NAG. It just works great as a calming and soothing ingredient too. I noticed that my skin retains moisture far better than it used to. I'm less prone to dehydration, particularly in winter. We've had a pretty damp and cold winter here in the UK, and my skin has been far better hydrated, less problematic than at any previous point. And again, I attribute it to this serum. It's all these benefits, which is why I'm happy to declare this my all-time greatest skincare triumph. And like I say, my only regret is not using it much earlier when it launched. I don't know why it took me 2 years to really get around to discovering how fantastic it is. I've recommended this on the channel before, and I know lots of you guys have tried it and fallen in love too, but I think the key thing here is how to use it. So first and foremost, you're going to need to use this twice a day, morning and evening. It's gentle enough to do that, so no matter what your skin type is or your level of sensitivity, you can use this twice a day. But you need to use it morning and evening consistently for 6 months to start seeing these results. So perseverance is key, and that twice a day application is really, really important. You need to think too about what you use it alongside. These studies which show how effective it is and NAG is as an ingredient against hyperpigmentation show that this has the right concentration of NAG, but you need to top things up with a little niacinamide. Recommending something in the region of a 5% niacinamide in order to get the best results. This is really important because if you use this on its own, you'll still get great results, but pairing it with niacinamide is when you really see those elevated results. And I think this is about being strategic with your layering in order to maximize your outcomes. So I would definitely recommend pairing this with a niacinamide serum. Look for something in a 5% strength because I think that's what's going to give you the very best results according to these studies. Also, I would just recommend checking the origin of your NAG in any product that you reach for. The Ordinary one is taken from fermented corn, so that's great if you're vegan, living a plant-based lifestyle. Some of the other options on the market come from fermented shellfish, which again, isn't an issue for most people, but if you have a shellfish sensitivity or allergy, or you're vegan and looking to avoid animal-derived ingredients, make sure you definitely check the origin, the source of your NAG in any product you choose, just to cover all bases and make sure that you know exactly what you're applying to your skin. So for me, the Ordinary is where it's at. I love this, and like I said, I've linked it down below because when it comes to that price point, £10, I'll find that one bottle, if used twice a day, will last me about 6 weeks. Inexpensive, and I will pay that. So anytime you ask me, I will pay that for the results that I've managed to get from this product. But there are some others out there. If you want your NAG and your niacinamide all in one, you want to take the stress out of it, you want it all in one, then you could get the Paula's Choice Niacinamide Booster. This contains the niacinamide, it contains the NAG in the quantities needed in order to get that maximum results, and taking a quarter of your hyperpigmentation away within 6 months. This product will deliver it. I would say it's a slightly higher niacinamide percentage than I personally would go for. My skin generally likes a 5%, this is 10%. But if you have a more resilient skin type, this can be a great way of getting those two key ingredients together without having to worry about, layering, pairing, and buying 2 separate products. You can also get your niacinamide and your NAG in this little gem. This is the Medik8 Niacinamide Peptides. Now, I would actually say this is a leveled up version of that Paula's Choice one. You've got the same concentration of niacinamide, you've got a slightly higher concentration of that NAG, which is the key ingredient, and a plethora of peptides in here as well. This will definitely help refine the look of the skin, smooth everything out, minimize pore size, but on top of all that, you're getting that fix of NAG to naturally boost hyaluronic acid levels and do all that goodness that I've just spoken about before. It's not as cheap as the Ordinary, but this comes in a beautiful emulsion, which gives a nice, gorgeous application, and it's niacinamide and NAG all together, so like a one and done. And the other recommendation I'm going to leave you with as well is another one by Medik8 and their Clarity Peptides. So this is the niacinamide peptides. They do something called the Clarity Peptides, which has a lower concentration of niacinamide, perfect strength of that and the NAG according to these studies. So this is the one, if you're not shopping the Ordinary, the one that I personally would recommend you opt for. The Medik8 Clarity Peptide Stunner also has carnosine in it, which is one of the most effective anti-aging ingredients too. So it's really just packed full of anti-aging goodies. It'll refine the look of the skin, minimize the appearance of pores, smooth everything out, and you've got that NAG and niacinamide in those proven percentages to deliver the very best results, alongside a host of other actives such as zinc, which are going to minimize the prevalence of acne and breakouts, which for me is an absolute godsend. So if you're not shopping The Ordinary, which is wonderful, you could absolutely go for the Medicate Clarity Peptides, which I would say is probably the best alternative, but there are others in this video, and all of them have been linked below if you did want to check them out. I'm here to say, when it comes to effective skincare, the greatest of all time does go to the Ordinary Aloe plus NAG serum. It's affordable, it's effective, it uses innovative ingredients and technology to deliver, and I feel like I owe it a debt of gratitude because I was a little disparaging at the start and I've come full circle. But you know what? We're all about learning, about evolving, and admitting when we might be wrong, and in this case, I definitely was. So, let me know your experiences. If you watched it this far, you're part of the Bitter End crew, let me know your experiences with this product. Have you tried it and did you love it? If you did, leave the heart emoji down in the comments section below. If you've never tried it, maybe you're not interested in it, maybe it's not the product for you, that's also fine. Leave the cross emoji and state why. That way we can really learn from each other as we go on this skincare journey together. Wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, and love your skin. Take care. Bye.